welcome to NTD China News. I'm Karen Chang. Making headlines this Friday, February 1st. What caused this section of a bridge to collapse? The New York Times wasn't the only paper to be hacked by China, and this Hong Kong actor will be rubbing shoulders with communist officials. Chinese New Year travel season has begun in China, and so has the demand for fireworks. A truck carrying the explosive toys burst into flames today on a highway in central China, and it's led to scenes of devastation.
A section of suspended highway collapsed today in China's central Henan province when a truck carrying fireworks exploded. As part of the bridge crumbled, cars and trucks tumbled almost 100 feet to the ground. There have been conflicting reports of casualties. China National Radio and several other media originally said at least 26 people died. State-run Xinhua reported later that 9 people were killed. At least 25 vehicles fell through the bridge. 10 trucks were found in the debris. Chinese netizens have posted images of the carnage online. The Epoch Times newspaper cited one local man who said most of the victims being uncovered by rescue teams were already dead. No one knows exactly what set the fireworks off, but an investigation is underway. There are also questions over how the fireworks could be powerful enough to bring down a major bridge. The Chinese public has become weary of shoddy public construction. In 2012, this bridge in northern China collapsed only 9 months after it opened. The explosion also comes at a time of debate over the lighting of fireworks during Chinese New Year celebrations. It's a long-standing tradition, but recent air quality problems have sparked calls to reconsider whether it should be banned.
The seedy world of sex, extortion and corruption in southwestern China has been getting a lot of attention, and so has the reporter who first exposed it last November. Even though Chongqing police say they're investigating the case, Zhu Ruifeng isn't so trusting.
Zhu Ruifeng, the citizen journalist who exposed a sex extortion scandal in Chongqing, says he plans to sue the Chongqing police for trying to extract evidence from him. Zhu was questioned for 7 hours on Monday in Beijing. The night before, Chongqing police blocked his home for 3 hours. Zhu says police asked him to incriminate the property developer and the woman at the center of the sex tape scandal.
This is using force to extract evidence. It's against the law. My lawyer is looking to launch a complaint. Police need to have evidence before they accuse someone, but now they're trying to fabricate evidence. They admitted it's hard for them to convict the 2 people and want us to help them build a case.
Xiao Ye is a former property developer. He paid Zhao Hongxia to have sex with former Chongqing official Lei Zhengfu in 2007. She secretly taped the encounter, and Xiao used the tape to extort Lei. Xiao, Zhao, and several others involved in the honey trap are now under arrest. Chongqing authorities also dismissed 6 Communist Party officials and 5 executives at a state-owned business. But Zhu says the case isn't being properly handled.
According to the Communist Party's internal disciplinary rules, the officials should be expelled from the party and sacked of all official positions. They've only been dismissed from their current positions. Lei Zhengfu was the party secretary of Beibei district. He could be moved to another position tomorrow. The corrupt officials are still being protected.
Zhu says he has another 7 pieces of footage implicating Chongqing officials. He said 6 came from inside the Chongqing police force. Chongqing police have demanded he turn over the tapes, but Zhu has refused, saying he needs to protect his source.
More information is coming to light about a 4-month cyber assault China launched on the New York Times, including how the hackers were discovered and what it means for journalists around the world.
Hackers stole the corporate password of every New York Times employee. 53 personal computers were accessed, including current and former bureau chiefs in China, David Barboza and Jim Yardley.
We brought in the FBI, and the FBI said, as did AT&T, that this had all the hallmarks of hacking by the Chinese military.
After publishing an article alleging former Chinese Premier Wen Jiaobao's family amassed a multi-billion-dollar fortune, the Times received threats from China that there would be consequences, according to Mark Franz. The Times then noticed suspicious activity and brought its computer security experts from Mandiant. They found at least 40 hacker groups called Advanced Persistent Hacker Units. They were assaulting the Times systems, but that's not all.
We've also seen them go after specific users that had to do with China, specific documents and other data, stealing data that was in line with the Chinese interests, as we saw in the New York Times case.
That's how they knew the attacks were coming from China. The Wall Street Journal also reported on Thursday that Chinese hackers tried to access information about its China coverage.
I think that any media company doing real reporting about government activity that a government might be embarrassed or fearful of is open to this sort of cyber espionage. And it's just something we're all going to have to live with and deal with and figure out. It's a different world in the sense of the security profile that companies and individuals need to deal with from here on in.
According to the Associated Press, the Obama administration is currently preparing a new national intelligence estimate. It's a report that would detail the threat of cyber assaults, particularly from China, and how that affects the economy. It's seen as a sign that the U.S. will take a tougher stance against cyber attacks from the Chinese regime.
Hong Kong actor Jackie Chan has been getting some unwanted attention recently, especially after saying Hong Kong people protest too much. But his popularity with Chinese communist authorities hasn't waned. In fact, it's quite the contrary.
Hong Kong action star Jackie Chan has long been one of China's most internationally recognized celebrities. But in recent years, he stirred controversy with a series of comments seen by liberal Chinese as supporting the Communist Party's oppressive policies. Now, his political leanings seem to be paying off. Chan has been appointed a Hong Kong representative to the China People's Political Consultative Conference, the official top advisory body to the Communist Party authorities. While the body itself is seen to have little actual power, it is an important symbol of what are called in Chinese guangxi, close connections in personal and political networks. These in turn lead to lucrative financial opportunities. Chan will serve for a 5-year term alongside fellow Hong Kong star Stephen Chow. In Chan's case, the move is not seen as a surprise. He has long been on the record describing his fellow Chinese citizens as having, quote, low quality and requiring a strong authoritarian state to guide them. Recently, he went on the record saying that protest rights should be restricted.
And coming up after the break, manufacturing growth in China slows in January. Who is bootlegging milk powder from Hong Kong? And welcome back. China's Purchasing Managers Index, or PMI, dropped to 50.4 in January, down 0.2 points from December. The latest figure was released on Thursday by the National Bureau of Statistics and China Federation of Logistics and Purchasing. A PMI over 50 indicates manufacturing expansion, but it has slowed down last month and also missed expectations. Analysts at HSBC released an estimate for China's PMI on January 24th of 51.9, while a median estimate from 12 analysts was 52. The slight expansion came from larger companies. Their PMI came in at over 50. But it's a different case for smaller and medium-sized companies. Both groups saw a contraction of activities rather than growth. Thursday's official figures also showed export orders contracted, highlighting concerns about the health of global demand. A massive protest last July forced a local government in eastern Jiangsu province to abandon a wastewater project. Now, 6 months later, officials in Qidong are putting some of the demonstrators on trial.
14 defendants pled guilty on Wednesday for damage caused during one of China's biggest protests of 2012. On July 28th, thousands of people protested the construction of a sewage pipeline in Qidong City, Jiangsu province. The pipeline would run from a paper factory into the sea, discharging wastewater into the local waterway. The Qidong protest was seen as a victory for the public. Local authorities backed down on the waterpipe plan following the mass demonstrations. After Wednesday's trial, some questioned why the government's role in the protests has not been probed.
From the legal point of view, the government should be supervised by people. When the residents tried to supervise the government's action, the government used police force to suppress them. Then it's the government's fault and responsibility when conflicts happen.
The 14 protesters were charged with causing property losses, injuring police officers, and severely disrupting public order. During the protest, several officials were stripped down and forced to wear shirts with environmental messages. Some of the protesters could face up to 5 years in prison. A verdict has not been delivered.
Every year, Reporters Without Borders comes out with a World Press Freedom Index, and this year Hong Kong got a downgrade. Some fear this is a result of closer ties to China. Here's more.
Press freedom in Hong Kong took a blow this year, falling 4 points in Reporters Without Borders' annual report. The World Press Freedom Index measures the freedom to produce and circulate accurate news and information.
The deterioration of press freedom is very serious now. It has reached a critical point. It's a significant time now to determine if Hong Kong is an independent place or if it's turning into a place like mainland China's lack of freedom.
The former British colony enjoys a high level of freedom, normally not found in the mainland. But with a recently elected leader who is closer to the Chinese regime, some are worried this could change.
When mainland Chinese officials come to Hong Kong, they get very official receptions. Also, the way Hong Kong police treat demonstrators is very similar to police in mainland China, and this is only the tip of the iceberg.
China ranked at the bottom of Reporters Without Borders' annual index with a score of 173 out of 179 countries. Hong Kong is currently 58th. McIntyre says Hong Kong's lowered score is due to censoring around certain political events. She cited an incident of a reporter and cameraman who were attacked during a Hong Kong rally.
It's a rather bizarre side effect of the Chinese New Year. Every year, millions of people in China travel home for the 40-day holiday, the largest annual human migration. So what does that have to do with baby milk formula? Let's have a look.
As the Chinese New Year's travel season gets underway, health-conscious mainlanders are making last-minute trips to Hong Kong. They are there for something you might not expect: baby milk formula. The melamine-tainted milk scandal that sickened hundreds of thousands of babies is still fresh in the public conscious. So, the demand in China for safe, regulated milk powder from Hong Kong has skyrocketed. The only problem? Hong Kong babies are going hungry. Smugglers have flooded the city. They're buying up baby formula tax-free and selling it for big profits in the mainland.
In view of the latest situation, the Customs and Excise Department and their Shenzhen counterpart have, with immediate effect, further strengthened its enforcement efforts by launching a joint anti-smuggling operation among daily commodities, especially baby formula.
Passengers traveling between Hong Kong and mainland China by train will now be limited to only 50 pounds of luggage, down from 70. They're also now limited to just 4 pounds of milk powder per trip. It's gotten so bad that Hong Kong citizens are even petitioning US President Barack Obama for help. But local distributors are also doing their part to help.
We try our best to differentiate between the local customers, people who really need the products, and the parallel traders. Usually the traders ask for many brands and many types. We just tell them we have no stock left. We want to take care of the local customers.
The Year of the Snake, which officially begins on the Chinese New Year's on February 10th, will see many convenience stores and shops close down over the week-long holiday.
Shen Yun Performing Arts kicked off its Asia-Pacific tour in Brisbane, Queensland, playing to a full house at the Lyric Theatre on Friday, 1st February. Bill Booty, who danced for the Borovansky Ballet Company in the 50s and the Theatre Royale in Brisbane, was seeing Shen Yun for the first time.
The timing tonight was unbelievable. Look, the whole production of this magnificent, it was absolutely unbelievable to see.
Shen Yun features animated backdrops that complement each dance.
When they show you this wonderful picture and someone just jumps out to it in split seconds and they're on the stage. Now that is unbelievable. It's never ever been seen here in Australia.
Mr. Booty made special mention of the Shen Yun Orchestra, which combines both Eastern and Western instruments.
Now you take the music, for instance. The orchestra was absolutely brilliant with every little piece that they've got into it. There's every little piece of sound that came out of that to hit that note for those dancers to come in on performance and on timing. Absolutely, look, unbelievable.
Shen Yun will play 3 more shows on Saturday and Sunday. NTD News, Brisbane, Australia.
And that's all for this broadcast of NTD China News. For more on China-related topics, visit our website at ntd.tv or subscribe to our YouTube channel, NTD on China. Coming up next is this week's episode of Discovering China. Stay tuned.